are now live, and yay! And I'm in some jammy and chill. Allergies started popping off again, yesterday afternoon, and then I went out. Um, it's a weekly thing with my little buddy, Kobe. We go rollerblading. Well, I rollerblade. He drives his little scooter, rides his little scooter, and we just go around the neighborhoods, looking at Christmas lights. And there's this big, huge stuffed unicorn at a neighbor's house that's kind of part of their decoration that he wants to go see now. He calls her Unicorny. Can we go see Unicorny? How adorable. But being out there breathing in all of that pollen, I live in the Phoenix Valley. We don't have 4 weather seasons. We have 4 pollen seasons. That's what we have. So, yeah, that's why my nose might look a little pink. Because anyway, welcome back to day 2 of this self-love empowerment challenge, which we are touching on together throughout these lives. We're also doing it collectively in my goddess tribe on Telegram, bit by bit. You know, it is about that accountability. It is about actually implementing these practices, doing these challenges, because if you don't change things, if you don't do that work, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. And even honestly, part of that work for myself is that I'm going to show up in my jammies today because I feel great and cozy. It might be, again, a little allergy riddled right now. However, we do get chilly out here in the desert. You wouldn't believe I grew up in Kansas, but I did. I like to joke and say I survived Kansas. I now have chosen to live in the Phoenix Valley. I will take the heat any day over the freezing cold. Thank you. I like cozy. With that, I'm going to go ahead and share the YouTube link into my goddess tribe on Telegram. And I want to notate for those who catch the video live on YouTube, it's very bizarre, but when I go to run the video live, it will let me choose public or unlisted, of course, because I'm live streaming. But when it's done, it auto defaults back to private. Very weird. But there's a lot about this world that is very weird. And weird by way of unexplainable, right? Inexplicable is the word that would be for unexplainable, is inexplicable, right? So we are talking today more detachment, right? Censor. Oh, censor as in censorship? Is that what it is? The truth? Oh yeah, Oh, we're on that same page. We are so on that same page. And that has been for me, in all truth and transparency, why I have not been showing up as much as I would like this last 1.5 to 2 years. That's why I am not a fan of Facebook at all. I got a lot of hand swats and things for sharing quotes. I love literature. I love quotes. I love poetry and all these things. And I shared quotes from some certain individuals, and I got put in timeout for that. And I'm going, what? And how interesting, as a self-love empowerment coach, who is that person that teaches her audience that don't give your power away to someone or something else, because that means they have power over you. And that is exactly what happens when someone else says, oh, you hurt my feelings. It's like, whoa. Or you said something I don't like. Well, tough titty, said the kitty when he couldn't get no milk. And I encourage all of you to say this, right? I'm on Facebook only on a business page. That's it. Like, I have my live, I do it I work with a coach, and for the visibility, for getting the message out. That's it. Right? You like that? My little tough titty said the kitty when he couldn't get no milk. But that's it. But that's what I teach, is the whole suck it up buttercup, from the space of, I don't want power over your feelings. Don't give it to me. You see that? My power is in speaking whatever the fuck I want. That's my right. It's your right too. It is your right to be offended, to be butthurt, to hurt your own feelings by something that I say. But I didn't reach inside you and hurt your feelings. You see where I'm going with this, right? But that's that whole, it just falls so perfectly into detachment, right? It's because we are attached to that, people pleasing. We're attached to the, oh my God, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to say something that offends somebody. I don't want to get in trouble. Look, I know the cat's out of the bag. Boy, there's something with cat references today. Chanel, it's your fault. My pretty kitty girl. She's in my story. But cat's out of the bag here, right? I am a former pimped out, drug addicted prostitute. I don't do normal. Okay? I don't fit in the box. I busted out of that bitch a long time ago. This is the other reason why I love my sentence enhancers. And that's what I call them. Shit, fuck, all those. It's all context, right? What is actually so comical is my little buddy I was talking about at the beginning, where we rollerblade and stuff around. Well, I rollerblade. We're working on getting him on some skates. He's 4.5. He's got skates. He got his gear, but he's not as fast as Shell on those skates yet. So we're working on that. But I call him the profanity police. Because his mom and I will be dropping F-bombs and stuff, talking shit, grown-up talk. And he'll be like, you said a bad word! And we're like, thank you. Children, just, we love children, right? But that's the key here. And for me, it's been so challenging. That's my word of choice. So challenging for me these last almost 2 years, having clawed, and I mean clawed, myself out of the abyss that was my life, only to end up with this seeming collective wanting to pull me back down into an abyss of fear, of handing over that power. And I'm like, no. Homie, don't play that. It's because I lived that. And that is why I do what I do now, is because I've been there, done that. And I know what it is to have given your power away. And I know what it is to be taking that shit back. I know what that looks like. So with that, as I was about to do, before we dive into today's challenge here, your channel, how fun, share, copy, share. I think really I need to, I'm one of those where at times it's like, okay, I need to cover up where it shows who might be on, or who is or isn't on the live. Because I admit it is definitely one of those subconscious things where when there's nobody on, oh, what's the point? Why bother? When it's like, wait a minute, more people are going to see the replay than the live, because people are hopefully out living their lives. And I'm just going live for if you're around, stop by, if whatever. So, un momentito. I have the waterfall right above my head. It's so weird. I love my whole little ambiance here. Alright, I'm live on YouTube. Boom. Oh, okay. Oh no! Oh, there's one of my clients saying, I can't listen. Because she likes to listen, of course, while I'm doing lives. Okay. With that, again, it is about letting go of the labels, letting go of anything outside of you that then has power over you because you desire it, which means you're focusing on that not having it, right? The key is to shift into that energy of it already having been, right? It already being, let me turn that, there we go, of it already being yours, of you already being in the energy of having it. Like, of course, this doesn't mean if you're planning, you know, your vision is to be a millionaire or something, right? You don't go out and start buying a $250,000 car or something. There is a $250,000 car out there, right? Yeah, or something, like a Lambo or something. I don't know. I like my old, simple, no push button, fancy shit kind of Camry. Thank you. I love him. He is my white knight in shining armor. Everything I want and more. And he will be constantly just rebuilt. I don't want any of the new shit. Anyway, but that's my prerogative. That's one of my favorite songs, by the way. My Prerogative by Bobby Brown. That's a good cut. That's a good cut. Okay. So today, day 2 in the 17-day self-love empowerment challenge, which is a part of, it is like the whole rest of the twin flame confirmation checklist. So when you sign up to receive my confirmation checklist, which I'm already feeling like, I just, you know, updated it not 4 months ago before I started doing my 17-day challenge and such. I'm already ready to update and add a few more things in there because I always want it to be the most up-to-date for you. And same with the 17-day challenge. That's the other reason why I decided to go ahead and speak on the challenge, and I will at times speak on the checklist, right? Directly the twin flame perspective, because a twin flame journey is a self-love empowerment journey. And there are plenty of gurus out there that have you focusing on him or her, whomever your divine masculine energy is embodied, or if it's divine feminine. I know for myself, I speak to the divine feminines, I speak to the feminines rising, the goddesses rising into their power. That is where I was before I discovered myself on a twin flame journey. And now definitely in that space, a little more clarified, knowing how disempowering this twin flame space can be. That was kind of my whole why, God, why. Hello, Goddess Mona. I almost said Goddess Bella because of your bell. My mind was mixing Belle and Mona right there all of a sudden. I almost said Goddess Bella. And we were just talking about this, right? About the twin flame journey being about your mission, being about you coming back home to you, because now you can't hide from yourself. And what greater challenge than to have something that really truly is a part of you, like ripped away from you in this physical. What greater lesson in detachment? I have to share. So Goddess Mona and we were on the phone last night, and it was a little late. And my pretty girl, since I've already mentioned Chanel in the video here, I had gotten, I'm so stoked, I got the kids' booster seats. So my little mommy contribution, I actually bought a booster seat, and I don't have my own child, okay? I bought a booster seat for the 2 precious little angels in my life, Kobe and my love bug. And I saw a notice while I was laying there talking to my twin flame sister here, that Amazon had delivered it. And I went to bring that box in, and Chanel Indira ran out the door. And I kind of did a little freak out moment like moms do, right? And I run out the door after her. And I'm like, Jude, you better get your butt back here. And she does have a thing. She has a thing, all right? And it's because she didn't used to have that energy that she was loved, that she was wanted by, well, that person was a pet owner. There's a difference between a pet parent and a pet owner, okay? And she will run and then just lay down to see if I'm gonna pick her up and get her. She does, but she went far this time and it freaked me out. But I bring her back in the house after I chased her, and all of a sudden I say to Mona, and I'm like, oh, detachment? Like, oh my gosh, like I freaked out about something happening to her, but it's still, we don't own anything outside of ourselves. And we don't really have power over it. Yes, 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 we do our best to protect those who are not able to protect themselves, right? Who may not be fully aware of the evil that permeates this world, right? However, the other side of that is to recognize that you only have so much control over that. And the control really is over yourself and how you handle it. I mean, she got a good talking to, didn't she, Mona? She got a good, I'm like, just get on my face right now. You give Mom a heart attack. And it's like, technically, no. This is kind of her thing. This is her MO. This is what Chanel does. Yeah, right? Anyway, so that we are working so, why is my words today, my words? We're working so diligently on detachment. Ooh, diligently detaching. I always love words. Anyway, I digress. So today, because there's 2 days on detachment in the challenge, yesterday was giving yourself a chance to see some of your attachments. And one of the goddesses had even mentioned in the group when she first did this, because I started the challenge in the group several weeks ago. And they got to start signing up and doing it right away. She says to me, oh, I feel like I'm all in my ego while I'm doing this. I mean, like it feels icky. And I go, well, just do it. Just answer the questions. Sure enough, she comes back and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did this. I had no idea. I didn't realize. Because from the very beginning of my coaching journey, of my becoming a coach, as we know, all these intuitive downloads be coming through. And way back from the beginning, I was pointing out about how you must shine the light on the shadows, right? Because then you will see what the shadows really are. And by that, I mean, think about, and I have the perfect example with, again, rolling with Kobe last night, all the street lamps, because we go after dark, so we could see the Christmas lights and stuff. And he wanted to play a shadow game where we stayed, because especially my shadow was so long, right? Because I'm so tall, but it was so long, but that's not actually my size, right? So you see, this is why we shine the light on the shadows, because when you really look and let yourself see, you will find that big mean shadow on the wall, it looks like a big mean cat, is actually a little kitten. Just a little cute little cuddly kitten. Is nothing to be afraid of at all, right? And that's what we do. I have mentioned the awareness thing, that you cannot change that which you are unaware. But the moment you become aware of something, you have already taken a chunk back of your power. It no longer has total control over you because you're now aware that it's there, right? It's no longer hidden in the shadows. You see it for what it is. That's the biggest step, right? Because you can't change something you're not aware of. And so one of these things that we tend to be subconscious, very subconsciously programmed, is the concept of time. Time. I love hearing that. Leave it to humans, because when you know the truth about who is the overlords of the human race, not human, then you will realize that it probably wasn't humans that invented time. However, leave it to whatever powers that be, shall we say, in this realm, to take something that is immeasurable and create a way to measure it. That is what time is. Time is only a limited concept and construct in this realm. That's it. It's an ego-based concept. Because for the ego, think about it, for the ego, tick-tock goes the clock. You only got so much time. This is why the ego, why death is so feared, because time is running out. Oh my gosh, why? That's why they're called ego deaths. The ego does not like to see its true self. Right? It doesn't want to see its mortality. It doesn't want to accept that when the soul leaves this realm, the ego does die. It's no more. That which is your ego, it doesn't go with you. Okay? So, this is what we do. Because of this time thing and this whole pressure of time is running out, we end up creating a self-sabotaging cycle. Right? The pressure, the walls start closing in. I don't have enough time. I need more time. And before you know it, you have no time. Because you've spent all your time stressing about how you have no time. You see, you perpetuated that. You fed that. Right? And we do this, especially on this twin flame journey, don't we? When am I going to get to be with him? When are we going to be together? When is union going to happen? And if it's not by this time, then I'm too old. If it's not, whose ego is doing that? Because for many of us divine feminines, we're older, quite older than our divine masculines. Why? Because of rewriting that template of older women with younger men. It's been socially acceptable for millennia. In fact, let's look at still some cultures. Child brides, right? They've been marrying off the girls to older men for quite some time, right? But we are bringing balance back into this world. Balance. It's not about feminism. It's about feminine balance. It's not about restitution or reparations. None of that. Because when we constantly, it's this pendulum swing. You can't go from one extreme to the other and think it's going to fix it. It's not. Because this extreme over here has got its own fucking shit show. It's about balance. Saying, you know what, I forgive. I let go. I release. Right? I surrender to flow. Okay? Forgiveness comes later, however. The time concept. All you have is this moment. The only space, place, and time you can ever connect with your power is this moment. The only life you ever live is in this moment. And when you are in your time space, you're in your mind, you're in your ego. And you're not actually here in this present moment. Now, I will, of course, confess, I have it's my Rise and Thrive, my Rise and Thrive Power Starter, which is my Manifesting with Self-Love, again, Power Starter video course that gives you everything I did to manifest getting to India in under 90 days. One of those things I did was I did create an affirmation that I did the 5-5-5 technique, and I landed in India on that date. So I did have a time. However, it's important to understand what I did to get myself into alignment with that time, that date, what I did, why it was that date. There was so much meaning to that specific date. And quite honestly, there was a whole hell of a lot of sabotage all along that journey going, I'm not going to go. I'm out of my ever-loving mind. I am not going to fly around the world for a guy. I've lost my fucking mind. I've lost my mind. And the universe was like, yeah, you are. You're going. You're going. And I did. And I literally set foot on the very date, Arizona time, that I wrote out. But again, and this is where we get to divine timing. This is where this does come in. So it's at the same time releasing control and finding control over what you can control, which is you getting into alignment, energetic alignment. That is what divine timing is when you and what you desire are in alignment at the exact same time. That is divine timing. It's not a fucking date on a clock. I mean, a date on a calendar. It's not a time on a clock. It's energy. And when you can maintain that for a certain period, and believe me, like I've said, this last 2 years have been so challenging for me. Like everything that I teach has been challenged for me these last 2 years. Everything. And this twin flame journey, that's why I say, it's excruciating. It is. And I really don't wish for anybody to be on it. That's why when I hear some feminines going, oh, I want to find my twin flame, we're all like, no, you don't. No. You know the whole adage, careful what you wish for. You know. Just, yeah. Right? And so we're caught up in that space of feeling as though things aren't going to ever change, right? Feeling like we're never really going to get to live our dreams. I know that's challenging. I mean, at least not without compromising your integrity to live your dreams, right? Especially your bodily autonomy. Yeah, that's why it's so important. Exactly. It is vital to learn to be present. And there's a whole lot of practicing presence throughout these 17 days. Because for one, journaling is a presence practice. We know meditation is. We know one of my favorite things, which is to have a cup of tea. Having a cup of tea, but that's what I mean. Being in that most savoring, like that, that tasted so good. Oh my goodness, that tasted good. That was like my first sip. I'm like, that's why, you got me in my jammies. I'm just like, I'm just going to tell on her. Goddess Mona, we were on the phone late. We were up talking about all of this. But when you're deep in that conversation, right, you lose that sense of time because you're so present, right? This is how, when you're present, time just goes by. When you're having fun, this is why we say, what's the line? Y'all know the line. What's the line? Nature and music are ways. I love that too. Nature and music, I agree. Totally agree. I was just talking to Kobe's mom last night. It's amazing how, soul sisters all of a sudden, they're, oh, my soul sister Sarah, and next thing you know, it's Kobe's mom. It's like, yeah, we were talking about that yesterday. I got to take her on a little trip to a place outside of Sedona that I used to love. It's changed dramatically, it's not at all the same place, but I had taken her out there, and it's like off-grid. Like, in order to even use your phone, like, you gotta hike up the mountain out of the valley to use your cell phone. Okay, like, you want to talk about, it was great, so fucking great, right? And this is also why, of course, Amy, right, why I have my whole ambiance living in a suburb, right? I grew up in a place a lot like this. It was a place like this that in Kansas growing up, that had I not had this, I was already suicidal by age 12. Okay, so had I not had nature to hold me, to coddle me, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I wouldn't be sitting here today because my mother didn't do that. Let's just say that, okay? It was Mother Nature. That was she who loved me truly. Yeah. So yeah, nature. That's why I also like my little sound effects that come. I found it and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so. And it reminds me of being in this place. There was the creek water. You could hear the turkeys gobbling. You could hear the coyotes howling. And the crickets chirping. I mean, right now I'm hearing the song Fishing in the Dark by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. That kind of energy was just amazing. So yeah, being present. But yeah, time. So what I was asking for, and no one quite got about that whole fun thing, is time flies when you're having fun, right? And why is that? Why is that? Presence. Because you're here now. You're filling, yes, Goddess Amy, yes, you are filling your time, you're filling your life is what you're doing. In fact, that is why this quote came to me right after my Cleopatra Devi, and I've mentioned, you'll hear me mention my beloved Brat Pack. They were 4 spirit guides of mine who incarnated as a litter of kittens, who ended up being diagnosed feline leukemia virus positive. And oh, wow, you want to talk about experiencing other realms and such with them on their transition journeys. And they made it to 9 and 10 months old. She was the first. But right after she transitioned, this quote came as a download, and it's this: only the width of a lifetime can know bounds, whereas the depth of a life is boundless. Meaning, you can measure a lifetime, right? He was 84 years and 5 days and 3 hours old, something like that, right? But how deep? There are no limits. You can fill your life with as much joy and as much love and as much excitement and as much adventure as you want. The only one who stops you is you. Even like I'm real quick to point out when shit comes out of my mouth, because I'm looking at myself. I got 3 screens right here. You have no idea, goddesses, how often the shit comes out of my mouth that I'm like, ooh, I needed to hear that, thank you. Because right with where I am in my twin flame journey, we're on opposite ends of the earth. We cannot get to each other. He's chosen to, as though he had no choice but to settle. And that's been a major template for him and I, is that we have to settle. It's like, no. Right? We need to measure our life in moments instead of years. I completely concur, goddess. I completely concur. Yes. Right? And it's simply up to each and every one of us to detach from time. Yes, I know there's always that, but I gotta clock in at this, or even for me, when I go live and I say, oh, I'm live at 10 a.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? I'm live 5 days a week now for all of you. For me too, because I needed this. I missed this. I used to go live all the fucking time, and I missed this. It's like, yes, right? Getting back, choosing joy, right? It is a choice. Every step we make, every action we take, it's always a choice. Everything, whether it's conscious or subconscious. And it's still a choice to be doing it subconsciously because you're choosing to not expand your consciousness. So you see, it's always a choice, right? And that again has been my challenge, is because of the mother wound is directly correlated with what is playing out in my life on this bigger scale of not being allowed to have gotten to India, to him not being allowed to have gotten to Bangkok. We were planning on running away last year in April. That was our plan. And now it's totally different, right? To really be in this space of feeling imprisoned, like it's intense, right? Because remember, former pimped out, drug addicted prostitute. You want to talk about feeling trapped, right? So we're healing all of these things, or feeling as though one of my lifelong mother wounding is that I get asked, what do I want? But I don't get what I want. She still would do it all her way. It was like she only wanted to know what I wanted. And that's how it's kind of playing out in the universe, is you ask me what I want, but then you're like, you dismiss it and you do it all your way anyway. Well, then what's the point of asking me what I want? So that's me sharing with you, the wounds that I'm still healing, because especially the mother wound, that bitch, all of it, it goes all the way back to the womb. And I've done hypnosis regressions and things like that to discover this. It's all the way back before I even came out into this world. So that's a few years, right? But that comes back to detaching from those stories, from those limiting beliefs, those limiting perspectives. You see, this is why I also say it's many layered and multifaceted. Because when you uncover one thing, you're going to see this whole root system of other shit. And you're like, good, does it ever end? I'm going to be so old. And there it comes back to time. So you see, it's all connected. But that means as you heal one thing, it feeds into other things, that ripple effect from a pond. And so as you begin to detach from the energetics and the material, the energetic and physical aspects of your reality, thank you, goddess. Wow, thank you. I'm like, thank you. As you begin to really detach from the energetic aspects of your life, the labels, as you begin to detach from the material, that's going to lead to the detachment of all these other things. And it's going to lead just this ripple effect. This is why I know my mission is to teach you, as I've come to know, how to look for where your power is. How to look for and find your power. Because when you're looking for where your power cannot be found, you're giving your power away, and thereby you're feeling powerless in your experience, in your journey. Right? And this is why I say, I will own my shit. And this is why I have goddesses like Goddess Amy on here. She's been with me since almost the very beginning of my coaching journey, of my becoming a coach. And she'll tell you, as will the others, that's one of the biggest things that I know draws my audience, is because I don't pretend to be someone I'm fucking not. I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah, my life is perfect, and you can have it too, and you can have all of this material stuff, and you can have and it'll be just perfect. Right there. Because when we really know what is up, then we recognize that it's all, as I've said, connected. You cannot have the light without the dark. This is that realm of duality. However, as you continue your awakening journey, your journey of ascension, and you begin to release the attachments of things, so visualize with me that as you're ascending, you have these things, these attachments, like fucking leeches, right? That are, succubuses, right? They're energy vampires sucking the blood out of you, right? Sucking the life out of you. As you release those things, as you release these attachments, and you say, I am not these attachments, I am not confined by time, that's simply an illusion that I've been taught to believe. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. No matter what, the sun will continue to bring us each morning and leave to give us each night. Our mission here is to be. Not to do. And when we're focusing on time, we're doing. Even I know that's what we're doing. Yeah. As you release these, you get lighter and lighter and lighter. And you realize that you love all of those attachments, right? The things that you really love, right? You love your twin flame. You love your daughter, your son, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. You love the nature. You love the music. You love all of these things outside of you, but they don't own you. If something, not if, when time comes, right? It's so interwoven into our way of being, right? That we even say things like with time or in time. Let me see what I can rephrase this. I'm hearing the crickets and stuff with my little sound effects. That as you journey, there we go, as you journey, because you are on an infinite soul journey. This is a temporary human experience, right? Temporary human experience. Temporary. This is about this much of who you truly are. One of the things that's assisted me with greater detachment is saying, wait a minute, this is my spacesuit. This is my avatar. My ego is my avatar. And in order for me to fully participate in this physical third dimensional realm, I had to take on the role of an avatar. I had to step into a physical spacesuit. Because think about spirits and such, angels and such. They cannot interact with this realm the way we can as physical embodiments here. They can't. So in order for us to have the full temporary expansive experience here, we had to take this physical form, which means also all the fun stuff that comes with it. Alignment and detachment, go ahead. Agreed, goddess. Agreed. Ariel just walked by you and said energy vampires sucking on you like leeches. She just gave me a weird look and walked away. Oh my gosh. That's so adorable. That's so adorable. Ariel's like, but that's what it is, right? And here's the thing that hit me during a client call, I believe it was, where I had said that anything that you own or you desire to own, it owns you. Even as I am purging my house and downsizing, because it's my intention to, it was to travel the world, but not happening. But two, the flip side of that is my home. When I got back to America, what did I want? I knew what I didn't want. I'm so done with management companies. I'm done with landlords. I'm really done with the heaviness of also a house. And it's just reached that point where I love the idea of being a turtle. Having my house on my back, yo. So I am all about a schoolie. A schoolie, for those who do not know, let me school you on a schoolie. A schoolie is a converted school bus. Oh my God, you should see some of these. Oh my God. That's what I want. And then your home is wherever you go. And I love that idea because I felt that when I went to India. Of course, India's in my soul. India is, if my twin flame is from, just like America is in his soul, right? It's a part of us, right? And I knew then that this whole world is my home. And when we are in that space, right, then fear doesn't own you. You can feel at home wherever you go. And that is what I love about the school bus. Of course, it would be really nice to be able to drive all around the world in my schoolie. However, yeah, it's not a boat. It's a bus. Okay. But yeah, I'm super, super excited about that. Of course, I thought I was going to travel the world first, then, and have time to learn because I'm a DIYer. I do like to, I am in my Sable, my former car, my White Knight is a Toyota Camry, so very different. I grew up with, of course, Ford, and Mercuries are Fords, because I was a Kansas girl, we had those belief things, even though Fords are made in Mexico, they are not U.S. made. Anyway, I digress. And in my Sable, just so you know, I was able to change my tensioner pulley, my alternator, of course the belt, that was easy to do. I was always changing my own oil. I could do all of that myself. And when I got my Camry, I popped the hood and I went, okay, this engine looks different than what I'm used to seeing. The Toyota engine was different very much from a Ford engine. And that kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I do, however, like to be able to go in prepared. I like to educate myself. And so I thought I was going to be traveling the world and have it done my way, right? Do it in my order of having control, of timing, where I get out of this, because that's the other thing. That's the caveat. And I'll, of course, full transparency here. My landlady, this is why I'm like so done. She stopped paying the mortgage. And how did I find out? Notices on the door. And I remember the first time I got it and I went, oh, don't start that again. Because my previous landlord did the same shit. However, I want to point out that under the previous experience where I was, right? Because we come back around, right? Are you learning these lessons? How are you going to respond? I spiraled. I had a major meltdown. That was when I was misdiagnosed bipolar. I was pumped full of antidepressants that made me a zombie. And I mean, I was more suicidal after that. So, reached that point where I couldn't even leave my house. I was so afraid. I had this crazy idea that if I left the house, it wouldn't be there when I got back. Because in mortgage things, like, they will lock your house. And I'm like, I'm the tenant. I'm an innocent bystander here, right? That's renting this home. And so that's challenging, right? You're paying the rent, but she's not paying the mortgage, right? So, but that's the key, is how are you going to respond this time? And this is what I like to point out about all the rabbits. And I was talking about this. I shared this with Goddess Mona last night about the story I love to share with my audience is the black and white rabbit story, where it's literally the yin and the yang. That's the reference point here, because I know with everybody else super sensitive about certain crayons, colors and shit, shall we say, right now. I'm like, just stop. So you have the black and white rabbits, though. The white rabbits, they're in abundance. You know, this is why they say fuck like rabbits, right? Is that the white rabbits, they're your generic, short-haired, like you're the basic brown that you see everywhere, right? Just the plain old white rabbits everywhere. They are a dime a dozen. Those are the lessons. And you will be given opportunity after opportunity, which would be challenge after challenge, to learn and integrate and then thus implement the lesson. Okay? It's the exotic rabbit you gotta worry about. That's what I call him. He is the long-haired black rabbit that you don't see in abundance in places. And remember, I'm talking yin and yang, black and white here. Let's not get our panties in a wad and shit here. Anyway, I feel the need to say some of this, right? But that's that shadow rabbit, right? That is that part of you that when, not if, when you don't quite do it how you think you should have done it, that you did it wrong, you didn't learn the lesson, or you fucked up, or all that, that's when that little guy comes along and he wants to be all cute and fuzzy and you want to curl up with him and he's like your best friend. Oh, no, he's not. That's the mean one. That's the wolf in sheep's clothing. That's that shadow self. That's the biggest lesson, is when that rabbit shows up after you've missed, the couple other opportunities to really hone and own those lessons that you think you've missed, right? So this is the rabbit that comes along and starts to beat the crap out of you. You fucked up. Look what you did. Oh my God. Now you'll never learn it. Now you want to talk about time running out. Oh my gosh, TikTok. I can't believe you. And he pulls you down into his abyss, his rabbit hole, his abyss rabbit hole. However, when you can learn to stay above ground and say, I'm going to detach also from this space and say, that lesson will come back around. And so here we are, where I am, lessons coming back around. So it's now, again, full transparency. Am I going to tell you that I have zero anxiety about it? That would be a lie. Lie detector test determined that would be a lie. All right? No. However, when that appears, it is strengthening that presence practicing. It's strengthening that faith. It is strengthening the awareness, the connection, the surrendering, all of these things. That's what challenges are for. That's why when you can stay out of that abyss within your own mind and go, it's all good. It's all good. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Even when it seems like it's not working out for me, I'm going to know that everything is working out for me. So I sit before you, again, having gotten how many notices the past several months. And the management company, by the way, won't even talk to me. That's why I say done. Because the previous place was landlord managed. So I dealt directly with him. He was actually a previous client of mine, thank you. No surprise. That's why shit went south really quick. But I'm in a different place. This is a different space energetically all the way around. And I look back then and it's like, holy crap though, but look at how beautiful everything just lined up. But that was the thing, is that for me, and this comes back yet again, here I keep closing these things off for all of you, right? Is the timing thing. Trying to control time. So my vision had been that, oh, I'll be done with my lease. And this was before the landlady stopped paying the mortgage, right? This was before this whole shit show started happening in the world. My vision was that, oh, I'll finish out a lease. I'll put what I'm going to keep in a storage unit, because I do run a business, right? And I do have, journals and things like that. I do have inventory and such. And of course, a few things that I'd like to keep. And so I would get a storage unit, a UPS box. I had all of these things figured out, and then I would take off around the world. And while I was traveling, I would be studying about the school bus and how, if I buy one, removing the seats myself and all, because I am very hands-on. I love to be that person. I love to get my hands dirty. I'm a farm kid. I love to mud, please. Yes. Let's get dirty. That's why kids love they love hanging out with me. Let's get dirty. And then I would, again, be designing my floor plan for what I'm going to do, because there's so much out there. And that's what is exciting about doing a schoolie, is you get to design it yourself. It's not and I am so not an RV girl. That's the thing, is I don't want an RV. I want something that's me. I knew that little rhyme was coming. I don't want an RV. I want something that's me. Right? And you can completely revamp a school bus, and what good energy, right, than children having been on that bus, right? So that was my plan, though. I'm like, I got it all figured out. And then even, like, I believe I removed the video, because, wow. So in October, I was like, oh my gosh, they're lifting our visa suspensions for India. I'm going to get to go. I'm going to go 1/22/22, because there's a whole story behind 1/22/22. It was the day the IRS gave me my EIN number for Empowerment Experiences, not 2022, but 1/22. 1/22 was the date a year later, after I got my EIN number with the IRS, that I landed back here from India. So for me, I'm seeing as though I am closing the timelines and picking up and moving forward with that vision. So I had it all planned out. I thought I had it all under control. I even thought that, oh, well, it's all right. This is like perfect. She quit paying the mortgage. That's okay. I'm going to be jet setting around the world come January. It's all going to fall into place. They didn't lift the suspensions. I won't put poison in my body for something that has a 98+% survival rate. And, no. Homie, don't play debt. Okay? But the simple fact, they didn't lift our suspensions on our visas. They lied. As governments do. As they always do. As they are doing. And only when you realize that no political party, no side of government is on the side of the people, then you will really be awake to the matrix. But as long as you believe that the government is on your side, then you are still not red-pilled. You are blue-pilled. You need a red pill. Stop taking the blue pill. Anywho. So, where I sit before you now is, I don't know. You want to talk about letting go. You want to talk about a practice in detachment. But to say that the vision that you thought you had total control over, that you really don't. That instead, where your power really is is over in how you choose to respond to what's happening outside of you. Has that been easy? No. And this divine timing has been challenging for me. I'm not going to lie, because I say to myself, but I did it the first time. Well, we live in a different world now. A very different world. And currently, we are being asked in the most extreme way to detach from time and to surrender to divine timing. To trust that no matter what is happening, it's all happening as it's supposed to. It is all unfolding in divine timing. Everything. And that the only reason we suffer in the idea of it's not happening fast enough, it's not happening when I want, oh my God, it's all screwed up, because let me tell you, you can probably well imagine some of the shit I've been purging around this. Because in the beginning, there were all this support and signs from the universe, only to feel like I got that brick wall. And I have to completely recreate an entirely different vision. But that's still a massive lesson in detachment. Because even in holding on to one single vision, and this is why detachment is, of course, such a vital part of the twin flame journey, not just your self-love empowerment journey, of course, but this twin flame journey is because whatever you have an attachment to has power over you. When, not if, when each and every one of us are in our power to say, oh, that is not in my power right now, and it's up to me to see where my power is, and that is in how I choose to be with regards to this. By all means, I am definitely that coach to tell you, purge that shit out. Go get angry. Go release that shit. Bawl your eyes out. Beg and plead and ask God, why, God, why? Do that. Don't keep it suppressed inside you. Because that's part of the attachment as well, is that energetic attachment, is you're still holding on to it. And you're not letting yourself release this through one of the greatest power tools ever. I need to turn the heat down. The greatest power tools ever, which is our human emotions. Allow for it to be released. Allow for it to be released. Okay? It's not yours to carry. And when you're holding on to it, right, you are keeping that leech attached to you. You are keeping whatever this is attached to you that's weighing you down. And you have the power of choice in any and every present moment, which is the only moment you have, is the right now, here and now moment, to give your attention to something that doesn't feel good, that you don't have power over, or to pivot, which is where your power is, over here to something that does feel good. That's detachment, is you are letting go of the idea of control that you have over here. And you're realizing that even though I don't really totally have full control over this outside of me over here, I do have control over this, the catalyst, me, you, the catalyst in your life. To say, ooh, focusing on that doesn't feel good. Focusing on how, oh my God, the world shut down, I'm never gonna, look, I even had put my passport in the trash. I was ready to take that bitch and burn it, ritualistically no less. And I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay. We're not gonna burn our passport. We're not gonna don't do that, Rochelle Renee. Okay? Just put it away and focus somewhere else. Get off the subject. Detach. It doesn't mean it will never happen. And of course, the ego, let me tell you, my ego is she been like, well, fine. I will redirect my life and I will create something totally different. And don't come knocking on my door when you want to tell me it's okay for me to travel the world and I'm totally free. Just leave me alone. I won't be available. I will not answer that call. So I share that with you so that you see that you're not crazy. I mean, technically, we're all crazy. We are living in an insane asylum currently, just so you know. In case you don't know, in case you haven't noticed, we are the mental insane asylum of the freaking universe right now. With that, though, it all comes back to realizing that anything that you are holding on to is an attachment. A single, especially if it's a single vision, especially, and I know so many of you goddesses out there, so many of you twin flame goddesses out there are just like twin flame union, twin flame union, twin flame union, twin flame, and that's it. You got tunnel vision. That's part of the twin flame trap that I talk about, is the perpetuation of your own pain and suffering by continuing to focus on where your power isn't. You don't have power over him. You don't have power over your external aside from what you are attracting to you. And your objective here is to raise your vibration, which means to feel good, which means to focus on things that feel good. It doesn't mean you'll forget about him. It doesn't mean it will never happen. It doesn't mean any of that other than it means that you know that thinking about it and focusing on it don't feel good. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go here. Okay? It is that simple. Like I say, I am the last person who will ever tell you something is easy. But I will be the first person to tell you that it's simple. Pivot. Detach, pivot. So for day 2 of the challenge, there are a few more journaling questions, of course, that come with, because I did create a video and I loved it personally because I did watch it. That's what I mentioned in the email, is that I went through and I watched any videos of mine that I linked into this challenge for you. And I loved it very much myself. So the divine timing video, what is divine timing? And I talk about that, a lot of the things that I've talked about here, but there's more, of course. That is linked in today's email. Well, today's email, day 2 email. And you'll click on that, watch that. And from that, you will journal your questions. And then you will do the accountability activity. And that includes on today's where you get to comment from your challenge activity onto, hello, Goddess Tina, onto in the comment section of that video. All right, so you are going to be watching a video and doing a bit more journaling, which all still presence. It is even presence, I feel, when you are taking in what I call mind food, which are things, which is literally food, literally nourishment that empowers your growth, right? That expands your consciousness. So that I feel is definitely a presence practice as well. And we talk even more about like givers and things in the challenge, good vibe givers, I call them. And mind food is very much on that list. So again, to reiterate, because I've used that term mind food before and I've had people go, what? I go, it's literally what you feed your mind. Like, it seems so logical to me. Mind food, what you feed your mind, right? Because what you put in is what you get out. All right. So with that, challenge day 2. All right. Detaching from that time trap and really getting more in that empowered space of surrender and trust. And I know it's challenging. Believe me, even right now, there's that, again, that part of me that wants to stay attached to, but that was going to be so perfect and it was going to just fall into place. Well, not exactly, okay? Because technically it's not perfect and it doesn't fall into place. And I suppose in some ways I work really good under pressure. You know, diamonds are only made under pressure. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sparkle. Sparkle. So clearly it's going to be schooly first, then world travel, which it is what it is, right? We are the ones who get to choose how we experience our experience. And like I say, the more you hold on to shit, the more you cling to those attachments, the more those attachments have power over you and therefore are more in control of your state of being than you are. From time to the energetic attachments, the material attachments, it's all about detachment and flowing with life, experiencing life, filling life as deep as you fucking can, because the width will be measured. And you don't know when that day is going to come where you reach the end of that measuring tape. But there is no limit to how full you can fill your life. How much joy, how much love, how much gratitude, how much adventure and excitement. It's all up to you. No matter what your divine masculine may or may not be doing, don't you dare put your life on hold. Because otherwise, you're doing the very thing that is perpetuating the thing you don't want, which is that separation. Because you're in separation within yourself. You're not in your joy, you're not in your power. You see? With that, I will drop the sign-up link for the 17-day challenge, which again starts you off with that confirmation checklist, which again I'm feeling called to add a few more tweaks and things to it. So that will be coming updated. And here's what's awesome about the checklist and challenge is you can re-sign up for it anytime you want. So they come new and you can continue to get those new in your email. You can continue to get the latest updates and such to everything in the challenge. And I did that. I set up that system so that I know it's different when you've opened an email versus one that's new, right? So when they're coming in new, you're going to get that notification to be like, oh, accountability, you know, creating the change. I'm the catalyst. If I want to experience different, I have to create different. I am the creator of my experience here. So with that, I will leave the sign-up link for the challenge, which is, of course, very easily accessed on my website, empowermentexperiences.com. That is all of my links to empowerment is the homepage on my website. I made it easy. So that is what I will tell you is easy, is my landing page on my website. And, I can tell my allergies are starting to, I need some more essential oils. Thank you. And warm up my tea. All right. And of course, the giveaway, which is a perpetual giveaway, so it's ongoing. You will continuously earn entries, and every 90 days, I kind of close out those entries for that time period, and all those, your name goes into the jar that many times, however many accountability entries you've accrued, and then I draw for the prizes that are being given away, from coaching sessions to essential oils, to right now I have, like we talked about, the Reiki energy infused and essential oil infused body sprays. I love them. I don't even have one with me right now. There's like 2 of them and I love. And then there's like a dropper, some water that you add to your water. And it's the Allowing Love one. Definitely love that. All right. So with that, and I am working on creating also, is my hand eczema trying to, jeez, and my hand eczema is even trying to come back. I know what that means. Woo! We're just getting hit left and right, baby, left and right. I feel like Neo, having watched Matrix Resurrections, right? right? Resurrections is what it was. You know, I feel like Neo dodging those bullets right now. It's like, gotcha. But just so you know, FYI, pimples and such, which that's what hand eczema, my hand eczema is. It's water blisters. Just so you know, when you have pimples or blisters and such, the most fundamental meaning of that is you are boiling inside. You have anger somewhere inside you that is looking for a way out. And this is why I also point out about finding healthy ways to allow that to be expressed. So with that, I will let you go for the day. I appreciate those of you. Oh my goodness, this was like my longest ever. Wow, I didn't even realize I was on. I was having so much fun with all of you. That's awesome, blossom. So with that though, I will sign off and I will see you all back here Thursday morning, for day 3 of the 17-day self-love empowerment challenge. And yeah, with that, I will make a note to bring some of the different giveaway prizes, giveaway gifts. I don't like the word prize. It's so cheap to me. But giveaway gifts for you so you can see some of those things that I have. And with that, I will see you back here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. according to the time construct that we do have here. All right. With that, also come join the Goddess Tribe on Telegram. It is free. It is a safe space for you. Toxic energy not allowed. Thank you. No, thank you. And I will ban people. I've done that before. Sending love from Berlin, and thank you very, very much, gorgeous. Aw, thank you so much, Goddess. I appreciate you for coming, and I will see you all, like I said, in less than 48 hours, right back here, same station. With that, I remind you, as always, that the power, it really is in your hands. I promise. It is in your hands. Because that power has always been inside you. Namaste.